Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree. Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my episode recaps. And guys, as always, I'm here to discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 16, titled Boiling Point. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So, guys, you already know my episode recap is going to be short when it comes to Potomac. I have just kind of completely had it with this franchise. This season was just not good at all. It was kind of terrible. I think it honestly is their worst season yet. Y'all know I ain't taking extensive notes anymore when it comes to Potomac. So I'm just going to give you guys a little breakdown of what happened in the episode because I know a lot of you guys don't even watch it anymore. So you kind of come to YouTube, kind of come to us content creators to give you, the tea on what happened in the episode. So that's why I'm hanging in there for you guys. I'm doing it for y'all. So, because I love y'all, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get into this episode. So we start this episode off with Candace arriving at Kiana's place of business. She's going to get some laser treatments. Basically, she's going to hair laser removal for, down there, whatever. So she arrives there. It's a nice place. It's a cute little med spa that Kiana has. So while Candace is getting ready for her treatment, Wendy arrives for, moral support. So it's basically Candace's first time getting laser hair removal, and Wendy is there to support. But as we learn in the episode, Wendy is like, you know what, I'm going to get my underarm laser. So she's about to get a laser treatment as well. So anyway, as they're both getting their treatments, Wendy lets the girls know that her talk show she's having, they're going to start filming that in a month, and basically it's just been chaos trying to get that off the ground. So then Kiana brings up the fact that when they were in the Dominican Republic, when she got sick the first day, no one checked on her. And so Wendy says, she was like, girl, that's not true. I was very concerned for you. And then we, find out that Wendy even got her ginger ale as well. But Candace, I think, did apologize. She was like, girl, I'm sorry if, I didn't check up on you like I should have. Girl, I'm sorry. So they basically squashed that. So then they start talking about, the trip and everything and the girls. And I think Candace even asked, like, well, Kiana, what did you think about coming on your first girls trip with these certain ladies? And Kiana was like, well, kind of went kind of well as I didn't think it would. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I just took basic notes. So anyway, so then Candace starts talking about how she's privy to Robin saying defamatory things about her. But she told the girls, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to say, but let's just say I know that Robin has been talking behind my back and she's been saying very bad things about me. And yeah, so y'all find out what happened with that, right, later in the episode. Then next, we see Giselle with her daughter Grace, her oldest daughter, and it's the day that she's leaving for college. So they're at Giselle's house, and Grace is saying goodbye to her little sisters, and they get in the car because Giselle's dropping her off at the airport because, as you guys know, Grace is attending school in the state of Florida. So she'll be down there. And I believe Giselle is going with her, just to get her daughter checked in, make sure she's settled and everything. So it was a very nice moment. They were doing like flashbacks of Grace when she was little, when she was first on the show, and now she's grown into a young woman and going off to college, and Giselle's getting, emotional about it. So it was a really nice moment, bittersweet. And, this is the element I believe the audience wants to see Giselle in, because seeing her in a light with her daughters, it's very inviting. It's very nice to see her as a mother. But outside of that, when she is just ice cold to the other girls and causing dissension and chaos amongst the group, don't nobody want to see that, and don't nobody like Giselle.
I said what I said.
But we would rather see moments of this, like with her, than to be seeing her evil moments. So I'll just leave it at that. Next, in a new scene, we see Charisse and Ashley arrive at Robin's house. So they're just kicking it, just having girl talk. And so they start talking about the Dominican Republic trip. And they start telling Charisse, what happened and all that. So then Charisse brings up that she's going to do a crab boil at her house. And she's going to invite everyone. And that even includes inviting Jacqueline. So I know you guys all know who Jacqueline is. That's Mia's former best friend. So basically, we learned that Charisse has been hanging out with Jacqueline lately. They were at did they meet again at some event? And they started talking, and I think that's how it happened. So she was saying how I really like Jacqueline, and maybe if I invite her, this will bridge the gap between her and Mia, because at one point, that was her best friend for like over 30 years. And, I kind of want to see them be cool again. So that's what Charisse's grandiose plan is going to be at her crab boil. So next, we see NECA. She's at home with her husband and everything. And we learn that her and her husband is getting ready to do IUI. So as you guys know, they've been trying for a few months to have a baby, and they figured maybe they should go another route and get some type of intervention, and they're going to start the IUI process. So NECA starts explaining what that is, and so she says within her community, she feels like she's going to get judged for it because, in her Nigerian community, it's kind of like, oh, you have babies naturally. You shouldn't have to have help, blah, blah, blah. So, NECA's a little bit worried about when it comes out about how she conceived, she might get some judgment there. So, and that's a very real thing. So I understood that part. And, I'm praying that they have a successful procedure and that she has her baby, everything like that. So next, we see Giselle, and she's at Karen's house. And they start talking about Grace leaving for college. And they start talking about that. And, Karen was giving her some advice about, when you have to let your baby fly the nest, you just have to. And, basically you will get over it because she's an adult now. And, you realize your kids are growing up. So anyway, so then Giselle switches the topic and lets her know, like, oh, Charisse is having a crab boil at her house. You should come. So Karen is like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Not me. Certainly not I.
So y'all already know Karen can't stand Charisse. Like, she just never liked her. And I'm going to be honest, this is just my opinion. I think the reason why Karen has this type of gripe about Charisse, because let's be real, you want to talk about who's the grande dame. In a way, Charisse, I guess maybe still is, but she was back then when the show first started, because Charisse had all the connections. Charisse knows a lot of people, and Karen didn't. Karen just played as if she was the grande dame, but really she had no pull in anything, and I don't think she knew a lot of people, and I don't want to say power, but well-known influential people like Charisse did. And I think that always bothered her, which I don't know why, but I feel like that's like a big part of why Karen does not like Charisse. And even we learned that Charisse is like, well, I don't even have a problem with Karen. She has a problem with me. But I think that's the gist of it. I think in a way, I'm not going to lie, I feel like Karen's a little jealous of the connections that Charisse has. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Karen's like, I'm not coming to no crab boil, talking about Ray is allergic to like crabs, like shellfish and stuff, and she can't be around that because of course he'll smell it and get a reaction. And so Giselle is kind of like, how is that when a few years ago at Monique's house, we had like a crab boil and Ray was there and ain't nothing happened. And so Giselle's like, I mean, just say it. Like, if you don't want to go to Charisse's house because it's Charisse, then just say so. Don't try to use an excuse about your husband having a food allergy. Y'all, these people, this is so silly. Me even talking about this out loud, y'all, is just very outlandish to me because it's like, it's just crazy. But anyway, so we see in a new scene, it's the next day. Well, I'm sorry, it's not the next day, but it's the day of Sharice's crab boil. Everyone arrives except for Wendy. She couldn't make it. And I feel like, oh my gosh, y'all, there's somebody else that didn't make it. I don't know. But anyway, Wendy couldn't make it. So everyone arrives and Jacqueline arrives. And she arrives before Mia does. So everybody's like, oh, hey, Jacqueline. Like, how is it between you and Mia? Have y'all talked? Blah, blah, blah. So they, Jacqueline starts talking about, I haven't really talked to homegirl. We're not in a good place. And it is what it is. So Mia finally arrives and, she greets Jacqueline or whatever, but you can tell that it was very tense in the room because, they genuinely don't like each other at this present moment. And so we see that Jacqueline and Mia kind of go off to the side. They go downstairs so that they can have a private conversation. And so I guess they just want to kind of see where each other's head was at. So basically, Jacqueline is just telling her, like, dude, you were just so mean to me last year. I don't know what's gotten into you. Like, what is going on? And so basically, Jacqueline also says, I feel like you're holding something against me. And I feel like that thing is the night you got assaulted. So Mia's like, you know what? You're right. I haven't been a good friend. I have been taking my anger out on you because of the incident that happened years ago. And so Jacqueline's like, yeah, I can tell. And, just to let you know, I had no idea that you even got assaulted that night. I learned very much later afterwards. And so Mia was kind of shocked by that, like, oh, you didn't know, like, that same time. And Jacqueline says, no, I had no idea that even happened to you till way after it happened. So they both reach some type of clarity with each other, and they realize that, of course, both of them are wrong, and they both misinterpret what the other person was feeling. So anyway, they squash that for now. And so everybody's at the table. Candace, of course, is there. And I felt kind of bad because Candace had really nobody in her corner. Now, Kiana was there, but I don't know if you guys noticed, it seemed a little like off between them. Because usually if you see your homegirl, like, hey, girl, such like that. They spoke to each other, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, So anyway, so they're all at the table, and Sharice brings up that Robin and Candace didn't speak to each other. And so I'm just like, why do y'all... This is one thing that irritates me. If two people are no longer friends, why do other people in the group feel the need to bring them together?
I don't need no lecture from you, but I have to conduct myself in this house.
If they're meant to be friends again, meant to be together, then they will. Stop trying to force something between two friends. If they don't rock with each other anymore, they just don't. And just leave it be. I just don't like when people try to force someone to be their friend. I don't like that. So anyway, so Sharice brings that up, right? And so Candace says that she was given information to where Robin shared their private text messages with a blogger / podcaster to try and make Candace look crazy.
Wow, son. Wow. That's crazy, yo.
So Candace brings it up. So that's basically what happened when Candace was at Kiana's med spa, and she was telling them, like, oh, Robin has done something defaming to me, but I can't really talk about it right now. So that's what she's talking about. Basically, Robin went and shared private text messages with a blogger. And I can't figure that out. Like, why would you do something like that? If I'm no longer cool with somebody, I'm not going to air out their business or anything like that, trying to make yourself look and feel better. Anyway, that was wrong. So, of course, Robin deflects and says, well, I mean, we're no longer friends. So what's the point of me holding on to something? So Candace is like, that really makes you look like a super hypocrite or whatever, because you're sitting up here talking about, oh, I'm on social media talking about you, but yet you shared something very, very private to a freaking blogger. Like, no. So in Robin's confessional, we find out that she admits to sending those text messages. So I'm just like, girl, oh my gosh. I mean, how old are we? I mean, it's just so vindictive. So anyway, Candace and Robin start going back at each other at the table, arguing with each other. Then then all of a sudden, Charisse comes out of nowhere screaming, "Stop it! Stop it right now! Stop it! I'm tired of this. I'm just tired of y'all arguing and fighting. Stop it!" I mean, going off. Everybody looking at her like, girl, it ain't that deep.
Hold on, wait, let me fix my wig and myself, because I'm so tired of everybody talking about hold on.
So, Charisse gets up from the table because I guess she needed a breather. Then Candace gets up and leaves the table, and she kind of starts crying. And I think it's because, which none of us knew about, she had a deep friendship with Robin, and of course she feels hurt and betrayed. And it's like, why would you do that? But anyway, so as that's going on, Candace leaves the table as she should, because honestly, all she had was herself. Wendy wasn't there. She didn't have no backup with Kiana. So that's just all that happened. So Candace leaves the table and she starts crying because I think it just kind of, upset her about what Robin did. They're no longer friends, and it was just a mess. So, Candace, does apologize, I think, to Charisse's children that were there, and basically her guests, like, y'all, I don't mean to be arguing with, that person upstairs. I apologize. So I definitely will give her that. So then Charisse has a moment. She calms down, and Candace does apologize. I apologize for yelling in your home. It was very rude of me. I really do apologize. And, I gotta go. So she does do that, and everybody's just back to eating crabs. It wasn't like something that was spectacular, but yeah, they do all that. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. And scene. So yeah, y'all, that's where the episode ends. And I'm gonna give this episode I'm gonna give it a 7. It wasn't bad, but of course, it wasn't spectacular. So yeah, this episode gets a 7. Guys, I'm ready for the reunion. They're dragging this out. And pretty much the reunion is coming anyway, because they've already gotten back from their trip and the season finale is about to hit. And so I'm over it. Potomac, they have got to do something with this cast. They have to do a cast shakeup. It's the only way that it can really survive. It's just not fun to watch anymore. I don't even feel like recapping it. That's just how done I am with this franchise. But anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for tuning in to my episode recap. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. Also, too, comment below. Tell me your thoughts on this week's episode. What did you think about the whole crab boil scene? Yeah, anyway. But, of course, guys, before you go, I love to say a prayer over you. And so, here it goes. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord give you his peace and protection. And may the Lord give you favor and all that good stuff, y'all. I'm sorry. But thank you guys so much. And this is my prayer over your life. And in Jesus' name, Amen. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on my next recap. And yeah, bye.